What's going on, everybody? Welcome to T-Box Talk, episode 25. Bit of a different episode this week. Just me and Bagel today. Josh is down in Miami on a little real estate mission. I'm going to be joining him in the middle of the week down there. So thought we'd have some fun today, get a little peek behind the curtain. I'm kind of going to do an interview with you, Bagel. You know, I think we filmed one at one point when you first started here, and it kind of never got released. So
yeah, I don't know what we were planning on doing with that.
Neither was I.
Well, I mean, the video exists. It's just like 5 minutes of questions, and that's basically I think we probably were going to redo a My Journey video or something of that nature when we moved into the new office, but obviously, you know, things are moving quickly here, so it's just one of those things that didn't make the cut. But, you know, you got Q's, I got A's. So
yeah, there we go. So I figured, you know, I'd just rattle off some questions to you. We'd just have fun, shoot the shit together. But we'll do a little bit of a weekend roundup first. Harpoon Fest was this weekend, and it is one of my favorite events of the year. It's Harpoon Fest, Oktoberfest edition, and it's at the Harpoon Brewery in the Seaport. So me and all my friends went, and it was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I know we talked about it a little bit this morning, and you get with your ticket. I know it sells out every year, pretty far in advance. You get the ticket for your entry, and then you get one free beer.
Yeah, so the way it works is you get entrance, and then depending on which ticket you bought, you get drink tickets, because there's no credit cards there. Like, you don't buy a beer with a card. You exchange a ticket for a beer.
So you have to buy tickets when you're there.
You buy tickets when you're inside, and there's 15 ticket vendors that you just go up, card, boom, how many tickets you want? Okay, it's like $7.25.
I've gone to something like that before. Alive at 5 in Stanford was the same thing. They cut out like alcohol sale. Well, you buy alcohol, but you have to buy the tickets first, and that's how they kind of get you. Like, you got to buy 5, 10, or 15 tickets or something like that.
Yes, there was ticket minimum.
Do they have a ticket max?
I'm not sure. I only went up once to get tickets, and I bought like 6 tickets, and I was like, this will get me through the day.
I remember back at Alive at 5, we found out a way to split the tickets in half.
Oh,
so you could get double drinks. And if you just have to be really kind of sneaky with it. So when you're going up to get your drink, like, they're not looking, you put half a ticket in there, and no one ever got caught. But towards my time in Stanford, they were catching on.
Yeah, they had this, so the event sells out a week in advance. I had bought tickets 2 weeks ago. Luckily I bought 2 tickets for my friend who I stay with up there, and because I knew he was going to be lazy and not buy a ticket. So I bought a ticket for him, and sure enough, it's sold out. So I was able to get him in. The line wrapped around the entire block, because Harpoon Brewery in Boston sits in a big parking lot, and they have this whole operation. So they close off the entire parking lot, and they set up tents, live music, beer vendors everywhere, food trucks everywhere, and the line wrapped around the entire frickin' block.
That's pretty wild. Yeah, I know Josh was potentially going on Saturday, and you guys went to go look at tickets, and of course they're all sold out.
It was sold out. I felt bad, but
that's a big Boston event. You know, you got to assume that that's going to go out pretty quickly.
It sells out instantly. And a couple of my, you know what sucks is a couple of my friends who didn't have tickets ended up wanting to come, and sure enough, the people I was with had extra tickets. So,
oh, thank God, yeah.
So Josh probably could have gone, but he was on a flight anyways the next morning, so I don't think it would have worked out.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than being hungover at the airport.
No, it's a disaster. And it's also just one of those events where, I'm sure you've been to a bunch of events like this because you're kind of like a concert goer.
Yeah,
but it's one of those events where if you go with a big group, you're guaranteed losing them within the first 5 minutes.
100%.
Yeah.
Alive at 5, I mean, unless they're like a drive-in style concert where you have a confined space and you have to stay there. But I went to Pizza in the Park a few times in Stanford, Alive at 5, and you break apart from your original group. You somehow always find your way back. But I always find myself running into other people that I know too. So it's not typically a bad thing for that to happen.
Yeah, this was one of those events that a ton of people that I knew from college and high school were at. So I saw people that I haven't seen in 6-7 years. So it was actually pretty awesome. I enjoy catching up with people. There's these 2 people that they're triplets, and I've grown up with them since I was 5. I haven't seen them each in 6-7 years. Saw all of them. It was awesome. So
nice. And then Harpoon Fest, and then after Harpoon Fest.
Yeah. I mean, I was in rough shape after Harpoon Fest because I can't go into those types of events fully sober. I don't know. I don't know if I call it social anxiety, but I just don't like being sober in those situations. So we had a little bit of a pregame, went to Harpoon Fest, had a couple beers, and then we ended up going out at night after in Boston, and then we hit the China.
The China.
So I tell Will about the China all the time. It's this Chinese restaurant in Quincy, Massachusetts. It's freaking awesome. It's kind of a blend of everything. It's like a sports bar meets a Chinese restaurant. They have like flatbread pizzas, Kino. So me and the boys always, all roads always lead to the China. So
and like no, when you're like half in the bag or 3/4 are fully in the bag, and you go somewhere that's serving food at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., money is not a question.
No. We go in.
You get everything that you want,
Yes.
and then you can regret it later or tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
But
yeah,
it's just when you find a place that serves food at that hour in that current state that you're in, that's a fucking gold mine.
Oh, gold mine. We go in there. It's, immediate poo-poo platter off the rip, crab ragoons, freaking boneless spare ribs. Give it all to me. Give it all to me. So it was great. And then what about you? How about Saturday?
Saturday was pretty. It was a pretty laid back weekend. Marissa and I are just gearing up to go to Florida, for Mexico for my sister's wedding. We leave pretty early on Thursday morning, so kind of just a lot of downtime this weekend. Ran some errands on Saturday that we needed to get done. Got some stuff for the trip. I spent a lot of time on Saturday actually baking edibles for the first time, so that was a lot of fun. Obviously for my personal consumption only, but. It was a fun little activity that I saw. My friend got like a herb infuser that makes coconut oil. So
yes, yep.
Gave that a wing. It's a really cool product called the Levo too. So if there's anyone out there interested in baking or whatever, definitely pick something like that up. And then Sunday, just pretty much the same thing. I ended up canceling my golf. I was supposed to play CT National on Sunday with my dad. It's his birthday today, so
shout out Super Dave.
Happy birthday, Super Dave, Honey Badger Dave, Ranger Dave, whatever you guys call him. But yeah, I felt I was a little bummed out because it was kind of like a pre-birthday round, but the weather just wasn't. We're getting to that fall winter weather already here at the beginning of October.
So windy. Like I'm driving home from Boston Sunday morning, and my car is just getting thrown around the highway.
Yeah, I went on for like 30 minutes to run errands, and I'm like, nope, going back inside.
No, because golf in the wind is miserable when it's like that. Like you can't even play.
It wasn't even that cold, and that's like I care less about the cold. It's more about the wind.
Exactly.
If it's 60 degrees out and there's 30, 40, 50 mile an hour gusts, it's not fun.
No, you can't even play.
It doesn't even come down to like where's my shot going to go? It comes down to like literally it's just constant wind in your face for 4 or 5 hours at a time. It's not pleasant. I mean, it's just like standing out in a snowstorm or a rainstorm.
And don't you have some rain checks for CT National?
I already used them all.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you don't want to waste a rain check on like a windy day like that.
No, yeah. I mean, I knew the weather going into Sunday. I just didn't realize it was going to be like gale force fucking winds.
Yeah.
The entirety of the day.
Is it the hurricane? Is it the hurricane coming up the East Coast? I have no idea why it was so windy.
I have no idea. Today is pretty windy too. My dad's actually out there playing for his birthday right now, and he ended up having to wear a beanie and buy gloves at the pro shop. So
oh my God, yeah, that sucks. And
not pleasant.
So then you watched some football Sunday though.
Yeah, so I don't know if our listeners remember that Colucci said, I think it was probably 2 or 3 episodes ago, that he was going to get me to watch football or just care about football in the slightest.
Yeah.
I come from a Packers family, and Packers were playing the Patriots yesterday. So I finagled away because I don't have cable, I don't have YouTube TV, I don't have any of that bullshit. So I had finagled away to watch. I had to get a free trial on the Paramount Plus app, and then I used the CBS Sports app to log in with my free trial from Paramount Plus. So now I'm basically just going to create a new email anytime I want to watch a football game.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
So it worked out. It worked out. I was able to cash to my TV, and it was great. It was I hadn't watched football in a while, and it was a pretty engaging game.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots, I didn't really expect much from this week with Mac Jones out, but, Brian Hoyer, I was excited to watch him play just because, I feel bad for him because he lived in Brady's shadow for so long. And then
2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, he's concussed and he's out. And
Headshot.
I felt so bad. And then Bailey Zappy time, he came in. It was exciting, and they end up losing in overtime. The fact they even went to overtime, that's awesome for me.
It was just pretty funny. Like when the Patriots first came out and they're offensive, I look up and I see Brian. I see him and I'm like, I didn't know his name immediately, but then I remember we met him at the AJ Quetta tournament back in 2019 or 2020.
Yes, and I totally forgot about that too. So Will, and Josh were at a charity golf tournament for AJ Quetta. Visit ajsarmy.com if you ever want to support. It's a great cause. But I have a picture with me and Brian Hoyer.
I think we have that, so we might need to put that up on the screen.
Flash it up. And I was just going through my camera. I was like, oh shit. I have a picture with Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, we met some other. I think we talked. Did we talk about this last week? Maybe, I don't know. We met a few other Patriots guys.
Yeah, Rob Ninkovich.
Yep, there was a few others. I mean, I don't know their
Steven
names.
Gostowski.
Yep.
So yeah, it was. I'm a diehard Patriots fan, so it was exciting to see. It was exciting to meet them. I like meeting them, but you kind of humble yourself because like you realize that they're just people. And
yeah.
And you have to think like that because they are just freaking people, and people hold them to such a high standard. It's like crazy.
I mean, it was fun watching all those guys get up on the 10th tee and try to hit Josh's long driver.
Yeah, it was awesome. And we have the footage somewhere. We have to go back and find it. We never did anything with it, but we have some awesome footage of some ex-Patriots players trying to hit Josh's
4-degree long driver.
Custom degree long driver. So it's really fun stuff. And then for me, I might be the only one who's still excited about this, but The Walking Dead returned yesterday. I think I might be the only person still watching that show.
Not seen one episode.
That's even when it was popular, you didn't watch
even when it was because The Walking Dead was on the same level as Game of Thrones for me, where I was not watching it on purpose because I was so sick of people telling me about it or asking me if I watched it that I was watching it. I was being jaded. I was watching it because I was just so annoyed.
Yeah.
And eventually I caved with Game of Thrones. I mean, it's inevitable, but The Walking Dead I'm still holding out on.
No, there's no need to watch it. I mean, it was the first few seasons of that show are must-watch television, and then it falls off a pretty heavy cliff. But I'm so invested in it at this point. I've been watching. I haven't missed an episode in 10 years.
Well, they just came out with, that's AMC, right?
AMC. So
didn't they just come out with AMC Plus or something like that?
Yes, so this is kind of bullshit, but they have AMC Plus, which is AMC's streaming service, and they release episodes a week early. So last night I watched the, regular run, 9 p.m. I switched to channel AMC and I watched the episode. And then right after the episode, they're like, episode 2 now available a week early on AMC Plus. Subscribe now. And I have a means of watching things. So I was able to watch it without the AMC Plus thing. And it was awesome. But it kind of takes you out of it because I know not many other people have seen the episode yet.
Yeah,
so I don't want to talk about it with anybody and spoil it because not everybody wants to sign up for AMC Plus just to watch The Walking Dead.
I mean, I think just the way that this is happening with so there's Discovery Plus now. There's AMC Plus. I mean, this all roads lead to cable just being a prehistoric thing, and you're just gonna have all these a la carte streaming services, which personally as long as the subscriptions don't stack up, it makes complete sense because you really only watch a few channels.
Yeah, it does. But you know what I think is going to happen is one day someone's going to be like, you know what if we took all these streaming services and bundled them together? Well, then you're just back
That's just back at cable, yeah. You've come full circle.
It's going to come full circle at some point. Or Amazon's just going to buy every channel and it's all going to be on Amazon.
I would say, I'll poach this question to our listeners, but what do you think is the best streaming platform?
Shit. I mean, Netflix is always there, and it's always going to be there because they have the money to license a ton of movies.
And they were the original.
They're the original, yeah. I remember, I think I still have the disc. I never returned it. It was Jackass 3 on disc. That was my first rental because I lost it. And so I was never able to return it. So I was never able to get another DVD because I wasn't able to return that one.
Did they ever penalize you for that?
I think they did. And then
they probably just made you pay for it. It was 20 or 30 bucks.
Yeah, I think it was some crazy, something stupid like that. And then they stopped. They don't even do the DVDs anymore.
Oh no, yeah, that's. Yeah.
The only way you can get the DVDs is Redbox now, which
is still wild to me that service is still in business.
I know people who use it. I'm like, what do you mean you use Redbox?
Look, some people are still diehard DVD people.
Yeah,
there's still collectors out there.
What, the bonus features? I guess I don't know.
I don't know.
Watch all that shit on YouTube.
My girlfriend's old roommate Connor and she can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure he's a big one of those people that just collects the DVDs and just wants to have a library at their disposal and not have to worry about a streaming service. Which I wouldn't say it's archaic, but.
Yeah. I mean, I think Netflix is number one, but if I had to say, it's probably HBO.
Really?
Yeah, just because, again, it goes back to the money thing. I don't think the HBO originals are that, the original movies are not that good, the shows are all time though.
True.
Curb, House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, True Detective,
Barry,
The Wire, Barry,
yep.
Oz. Like, there's so many good Entourage. Like, the HBO original series are the best, and I think their documentaries are really good too.
I would agree. I think HBO is up there on a pedestal of like high end like content, whereas like this might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm a big fan of Peacock because they have a lot of those like Office and the Parks and Rec shows that other streaming platforms don't, that you can just binge as background TV.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I like Hulu, because Hulu has like all of Family Guy. And I think
That's
it's like
true.
the only one with Family Guy, unless it's on another.
No, I think you're right. I don't think it's on Peacock.
Yeah, and then it might be on Paramount Plus, but it's annoying that the only place I can watch Family Guy is Hulu, because it's pretty much the only reason I have Hulu.
Yeah, I don't really watch much on Hulu, but either way, I mean, the fucking streaming channels are just exploding at this point in time.
Yeah, they are. But, that's going to kind of wrap up our weekend talk here. We'll dive into the meat and potatoes of this episode, which is just learning more about Will Davis, a peek behind the curtain. So Will, a.k.a. Bagel, where does Bagel come from?
Bagel comes from college. I mean, I think probably a lot of people could have guessed that. In Burlington, Vermont, they're very heavy in terms of like bakeries and bagel places. So every single weekend I would frequent a bagel place and I would bring home a bag of bagels for my roommates. And so they eventually started calling me Bagel. And it's stuck, unfortunately, because now I think more people call me Bagel than they do my actual fucking name. And I can't change it. Like I've gone through several periods of time where I've wanted to change my Instagram username and I can't, because it's like losing my identity almost.
Yeah.
And I don't have any point in time where I can facilitate another nickname. Like it's Bagel or it's just Will at this point. I can't do, like, in high school and early college, my name was Chill. People call me Chill Davis.
Davis.
And then I got rid of that one, and then Bagel has taken over, and unfortunately, I'll probably take it to the grave with me.
I have a similar story where I have a whole second life where I'm Bob, and it's as stupid as this. I used to hang out with my older brother's friends. One of them's name was Andrew, so they said, "Why don't we call you Bob?" To this day, that name has spanned to a whole nother friend group, and so, like, when we were at Harpoon Fest, I saw a bunch of people from high school that only know me as Bob. They don't know me as my last name, which is what I usually go by, or Andrew. So I'm with all my friends, and a bunch of people come up and say, "Hey, what's up, Bob? What's up, Bob?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?"
I would have not expected that explanation. I would have expected, like, Bob being like your intoxicated alter ego.
No, it's literally just an alter ego from a different side of town.
It's funny. I had a buddy growing up, Mike, and every time he got drunk, it's kind of similar to, because I think they called Dave England Darf in Jackass. So we decided that we were going to call Mike Darf whenever he got intoxicated, because it's just a completely flip-flop. Like, Mike was a very seldom, very quiet individual, and then everything comes out of the box once he has a few drinks.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I have a few friends like that. I have one friend who I think his name is Sanchez when he's drunk. And it's
Paco.
I don't know why, but it's just funny.
I always thought your alter ego nickname was Paco, because J-Mac, Josh always calls you Paco.
No, that's just, I mean, you know what that's from? That's from Trailer Park Boys. We all were huge Trailer Park Boys fans, so we just call each other, we abbreviate everything, and we call each other stupid nicknames.
Shout out Trailer Park Boys, still one of the best shows to ever be produced.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So you mentioned Bagel comes from college. Where did you go to college?
I went to Champlain College in Burlington, Vermont as a broadcast and streaming media major. I graduated in 2017, which feels like 25 years ago. But no, it was a really fun school, really crunchy town. If anyone knows Burlington, Vermont, it's qualified as a city, but it's pretty small. I think in the off season when kids aren't there's only like 7,000 or 8,000 people in Burlington. Maybe it's up to 10 now. Mm-hmm. And then when kids are in school, there's like 45,000, 50,000 people in Burlington. So it really shifts between summer and, the school year. And
so when you were at Burlington, Vermont College, you did a ton of skiing, right?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately up there, since we're close to so many mountains, that the schools had really good deals on season passes, obviously to accommodate, kids who obviously don't have a lot of money they're not able to afford $1,000 pass. So Sugarbush, which is a big mountain up there, this was before the Vail Resorts acquisition, but they would offer $130 season pass.
Shut up.
Yep, and then and then Bolton Valley, which is where I skied most of my time when I was up there, was $130 as well.
So did you buy both?
Some years I bought both, and then towards the end of my college career, so junior and senior year, I stuck with Bolton Valley, and I would ski. Bolton Valley is 25 minutes from Champlain, Burlington. And I would ski anywhere from 50 to 70 days a year.
Oh my God. I'm lucky if I go twice a year. Right?
Yeah, it was the first year after college. It was very disheartening because it's like you go from skiing 60 days a year to skiing like maybe 10 days a year.
And you wouldn't do like full days, would you? Like every time you just like go for a couple hours and go to class?
Yeah, Bolton Valley had night skiing. So if I had night classes, I'd go ski in the morning for a few hours. And if I had morning classes, I'd go ski in the afternoon and night. And also my roommate Kyler worked there. So he was always there, so I always had someone to ride with. And I ended up getting invited to a lot of the employee only. They shut the mountain down and stuff for the employees, so I went to a lot of those events, and that was a lot of fun. But Bolton Valley is like the only mountain in Vermont right now, outside of like Jay Peak, that's not owned by some big fucking corporation.
Yeah.
Fuck Vail Resorts.
Vail, and what's the other one?
I think it's called Alterra.
Yeah, it's
Alterra. There's another one too. I don't know.
Who owns all like the Colorado ones? Is that Vail?
It's like Vail and Alterra, because like there's the two big passes these days are Epic Pass and Icon Pass.
Yeah, so
Epic Pass is Vail.
Okay, what's Icon?
Icon, I think, is Alterra Resorts.
Okay.
And they own a lot of mountains out west and over here on the east. So it's I wouldn't say it's evenly split. I'd say Vail owns a lot more, but there's still some East Coast and West Coast options no matter what you go with.
And I know you had, so I don't know if you're going to want to answer this, but I know you had a brutal injury skiing, right?
Yeah, it wasn't brutal when it happened, I would say. But the injury itself was actually bad. Yeah, I flatted a 50-foot jump on my second run into a 5-day ski trip at Loon in New Hampshire. And I tore my ACL, MCL, and both lateral and medial meniscus. So
all in one shot.
All in one shot.
Because you overshot
the flat.
Oh my God.
So I ended up skiing down, and I didn't realize how bad it was until I took my boot out of my ski and I put my foot down and my knee buckled. And so from there I went to ski patrol and then obviously ultimately went to the hospital. But there's not much you can do for it until you get surgery. You're just in an immobilizer.
Do they put you in the surgery room right away when that happens?
No, I had surgery when I came back from the trip. I basically sat in a chair for 4 days while my dad and my friend skied. So that was a pretty shitty feeling. And there's not, like I said, there's not much you can do. They throw you in an immobilizer, so you have to crutch everywhere. You can't walk.
What's the immobilizer? Is that the thing that the brace that
just locks your legs straight, basically? So because there's so much swelling, so they can't operate on it for like right away, anyways. But I had surgery like within a few weeks when I came back, and then I was out. I couldn't do anything besides walk for an entire year. I had to relearn how to walk in a pool.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
How old were you when this happened?
2013, so almost 10 years ago, so 16.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I tore my right ACL senior year of college. And I've shattered my tib and fib, but that was back in 2005, and I was snowboarding, I was younger. Yeah, that one actually wasn't that bad. I'd much rather break a bone than tear another ligament.
Yeah.
Just because of the rehab process is way different, and it's like way elongated to the point where like you never want to fucking get hurt again.
So you tore up your knee really bad before college and then still were able to go ski like 60 times a year in college.
I couldn't ski. My freshman year, I couldn't ski until I think February or March, which also sucked because you're making all these new friends who obviously all share a love for winter sports and skiing and snowboarding, and I couldn't do any of that. So a lot of times I'd actually take the ride to the mountain and just sit at the lodge and just like eat and drink until they were done for the day. Because I'd rather do that than just sit at home, just sitting on my couch and watching TV while everyone's out having fun. So,
well, was it hard to get back on the skis?
No, not at all.
No, you're just like, fuck it, I'm sending.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like if I didn't, it's like skiing and golf. If I don't have those two things in my life, I don't really know what I would do with myself. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing both for probably 20 plus years at this point. So it's. I mean, obviously, there's kind of a mental block there, but the nice people over at Orthopedics of Glastonbury, or I don't know if that's what it's called anymore, but they hooked me up with carbon fiber formed knee brace. So they take a mold of your knee, and then they send it out, and they make a knee brace that's made specifically for your knee. So it eliminates any side-to-side movement, which causes ligament damage.
Yes.
So even to this day, I still wear this same knee brace, and I wouldn't say I can ski just as hard as I could when I was younger, but
Are you still sending jumps now or no?
not really, but like smaller jumps, side jumps, and I'll still hit rails in the park. I don't have any mental block when it comes to rails or boxes or anything, but big jumps, that's in the past.
Yeah, for sure. And then so after college, or I think it was in college, you did like a whole few months in Peru, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thanks, Colucci. So my junior year of, maybe it was my sophomore year. Either way, it doesn't matter. I took a year-long class about sustainability in the Amazon rainforest. So we learned a lot about deforestation and sustainability in the sense of like, how can these indigenous tribes and these tribes that have made contact, how can they, facilitate income and revenue when they're so distant from just like normal society. And so we took a whole year of classes on that, and then we went down there for a month in the summer in July. So I spent 3 weeks down there in Peru. We went from village to village, and we taught English and sustainability through the use of creating and monitoring beehives. So the collection of honey, so that they can use the honey in their village, and they can also sell that honey to make money to, facilitate.
Bring income in.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So it was pretty cool. I spent, I would say, a week collectively in Iquitos, which is like the largest landlocked city in the entire world. There's not a lot of cars there. It's all motorcycles because everything has to be like flown in and boated in. And then I spent about a week in Chino, which was a village of about 54 people. And then I spent a couple days in the village of Diamante, which was probably 15 people.
And where are you sleeping when you're doing this?
I slept in.
Is it always? It's not tents, is it? It's like.
So I had me and my buddy. For the majority of our trip, we stayed in a field house, which is basically just like a screened-in tree house on stilts. And then everyone had a room, and I shared a room with my buddy Snoop. But the room is just boards; it's just wood.
Yeah.
So we both had one-person tents. We set up in the room, so we stayed there a lot.
Oh, so there's no beds.
No beds. You sleep on the floor, and then. For the times that we were traveling, like for Diamante, I slept in a hammock.
Okay. In a hammock?
In a hammock,
You ever fall out of the hammock?
No. And the hammocks, they have to have mosquito screens on them because there's so many fucking bugs down there.
Really?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty. I got used to sleeping in it, but the first night I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks about like sleeping in a hammock as like so aesthetically pleased, like, oh wow, I want to do that.
I would not like that.
It wrecks your fucking back.
Really?
Yeah, it was not good for my joints.
And I'm a big stomach sleeper. I feel like you couldn't sleep on your stomach if you're in a hammock.
Back or sides?
Ah, fuck that.
Yeah.
But this is why, if you've heard us joking on the podcast before, this is why you don't eat seafood anymore, because every meal was seafood down in Peru.
Yeah. What you catch is what you eat. So we went on a lot of fishing trips. I've eaten a lot of piranha. Which tastes, it's kind of like that saying, like everything, it tastes like chicken. Like piranha actually does kind of taste like chicken. So it wasn't that bad. But when you're eating fish out of the Amazon River or one of the smaller rivers that breaks off from it, and you're eating it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it can get pretty tiring. So by the end of that trip, I think I was eating Spam and crackers for like breakfast and lunch, and then I would eventually eat fish for dinner.
Yeah,
and it's because they have a lot of hunting standards down there. Like a village can take 2 alligators or crocodiles per year. Fish is unlimited, but like if you want to hunt like a mahas, which is a large rodent, again, that's something you're limited to. So I think it's like 4 or 5 of those you can catch a year and eat.
Would the villagers fish for you, or did you have to learn how to do it?
No, we learned how to do it. I've speared crocodiles. The village saved their 2 crocodiles for us when we went hunting. So I've speared crocodiles. I've had crocodile for breakfast. Yeah, alligator.
Can one crocodile feed the whole village?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a big one either.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a lot of meat on a crocodile, even though it's a very muscly animal.
I did not know that. That's really cool. All right. So after Peru, was Peru your senior? No, it was your junior year. Sophomore year.
I think it was junior. Yeah, I think it was 2016, which would mean it would be the summer before my senior year.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you get back from Peru. You graduate. What's step one? Where'd you go? Where you work at Basis? Is that the first place?
Yeah, I took a job immediately after college for a marketing agency called Basis Covered Media. It was in Darien, Connecticut, so that required me to move back to Connecticut from Vermont, which I wasn't too happy about. But you got to get to work, got to get a job. got to put that degree to use.
Yeah.
Shout out, my parents for helping me out with tuition. You got to make them proud. So
Yeah.
I moved back in with some buddies that were going to school near Yukon, and I commuted 5 hours a day to Stamford, Connecticut for 3 weeks, and then it took the entire life out of me. So I moved to Stamford after that, which is a wildly expensive area. If any of you guys are listening, you know this. It's cheaper than New York City, but I like to think of it as like little New York. It's like before you get to New York, it's a pretty substantial city, compared to Providence too. So I spent 2 years there, and then
and you were going back and forth to San Diego at that time.
Yeah.
Correct?
Well, the company that I was working for, Basis, ended up moving to San Diego, California, and any people that didn't want to move from Connecticut were work from home full time. So I worked from home full time in Stanford for a year. And then I'm like, why the fuck am I paying all this money to live here if my office isn't even here anymore?
Yeah.
So I was going out to San Diego like once a month for a year or two. And I was like, this is stupid. It's expensive. And I also don't live near an airport. Like I have to go to JFK, which is like an hour and a half away in an Uber. So that's kind of where Providence came around.
Okay. And so you were working at Basis when you were living in Providence?
For a very short period of time. Yeah, like 6 months. Like I think I moved to Providence in September 2019, and I left. No, maybe it was a year. It was about a year. Yep.
Okay.
And I left that job in December 2020.
And you're not a fan of San Diego work life?
I fucking hate San Diego. I don't know if there's something going on with my mic right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe it's just my headphones. But yeah, no, fuck San Diego, fuck LA, fuck Southern California. Honestly, one of the worst places on earth. I think I'd rather visit Texas.
What, you just don't like the people out there?
I just feel like everything moves so slow out there. And I don't want to say this and like offend anyone that's maybe listening, but like coming from New England, where like I think this is a very fast-paced work environment, and like I think maybe that has a lot to do with our seasons and the fact that we're kind of locked inside for several months at a time, especially winter. But things move slow out there. So like my productivity, I think, was 2x or 3x more than the people that I was, meeting and working with out there. So it was frustrating trying to get things done. That was first of all. Second of all, everyone seemed like they felt like they were God's gift to fucking earth. Yeah. Like you're not. You're a normal human being just like the rest of us. And so everyone felt very full of themselves. I mean, I can't speak for LA in Northern California and the rest of California, but that's kind of just what I felt in San Diego. And so for those reasons, I also like don't like the same fucking weather every day.
So that's the big thing with San Diego. Everybody's like, it's 75 degrees all year. Like, how could you not like that? But like, I kind of fuck with fall. Like,
I fuck with fall. I fuck with winter. I fuck with spring. I fuck with all the seasons here on the East Coast. Yeah. So like waking up and having it be 60 to 70 degrees a day I feel like I would just go mad. Yeah. Like it would just be the same day over and over and over again. And at least with the weather here on the East Coast, there's a bit of dynamic between like what you're going to put on for the day and like what you're going to do. You
might get stuck in a blizzard.
Might get stuck in hail,
It's exciting. Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah. So San Diego and I did not mix well. I did not move out there, and I'm glad that I did not move out there. So I got my fix, but it was more than enough after one trip.
What was the longest you ever had to stay out in San Diego?
It's always like a week or 10 days.
Yeah.
It was depending, like, if it was around Christmas or not.
So then you leave Basis, and then I think your next stop is OMADA Golf, correct?
Yeah, I left Basis, and I was actually unemployed for 6 to 8 months. I tried starting up my own freelancing business, which was mildly successful, but it wasn't enough money to allow me to pay my bills and save money at the same time. I was really just scraping by. And at the same time, it's like, you can't work that much when you're on unemployment. I did a lot of my work pro bono just to build up my portfolio. I would say 90% of my work pro bono, just to build up the portfolio.
And what were you doing? Like just filming weddings and shit?
No weddings, just a lot of like e-commerce based stuff. Cause I had just come from an agency where I was primarily working on the marketing department and through the advertising channels that we're using with media buyers. And I was making content that was just basically advertisements at that point.
And so how did you find OMADA Golf?
Funny, yeah. So I was hammering job applications every single day through Indeed, LinkedIn, whatever, and I had gone on LinkedIn one day, and I was actually in the parking lot at Aldi's. I remember this very specifically in Johnston. And I opened up my phone on LinkedIn. I'm sitting in the car, and I saw a job post, video producer for OMADA Golf. And I was like, that sounds fucking cool. Cumberland, Rhode Island. That's like 20 minutes north of me. And so I applied, and I went into Aldi's, and I'm in Aldi's just stirring. I'm like, I should probably do something more.
Yeah.
And so when I got back in the car after grocery shopping, I found who posted the job, Josh, and then I DM'd Josh on LinkedIn. And I basically sent him a quick message. I said, hey, this could be a perfect storm for us. You know, I'm a big golfer. I work in video. I just came from an agency. So I was like, you know, let's try and meet up and have a conversation. So through that, Josh and I actually met up 3 or 4 times before I got hired here. And that's basically how I ended up at OMADA.
And did you like that process of like getting hired here, like of like not formal, like just kind of like, you know, kind of just chilling, see if we can vibe together, and then
I mean, like it was very low key because coming from my last job as an agency, everything was very regimented and everything was very by the book, onboarding, offboarding, no matter what you were doing. It wasn't as laid back as it is here. And I didn't know that at the time that that's how things operated here.
Yeah.
But I would say from, you know, being a new hire, and also like not at the same time, but like I bought into OMADA very early, so it was easier to have those conversations before I even started working here. I mean, Josh and I basically worked for OMADA for like 2 months before I started here, and that was just going back and forth with Josh on, you know, what he's looking for and, you know, what I can provide.
Yeah, no, and then I remember like one of your first days you came in, we were in that little tiny office. Like we were in a temporary office before we moved into this office, and it was kind of shitty. I kind of felt bad, like your first trip into the office, we were in this little, like, you know, must have been, 15 by 15 little room? I
mean, 20 by 20 max.
Yeah, it was tiny.
It was small. I mean, we had 5 or 6 guys crammed in there on a daily basis.
Yeah, it sucked. But we all knew it was temporary, and then we ended up here. And so what do you tell the people about what you mainly do for OMADA Golf? Because anytime, if you've ever seen an ad or anything, it's probably made by a guy, Bagel, here.
Yeah, I mean, like any startup or working for any startup, there's obviously turbulence and roles and responsibilities that change and flourish throughout, you know, as time passes. So I spent the bulk of my first 6 months with OMADA actually helping Josh build OMADA Media into what it is today. And after about 6 or 8 months, Josh basically asked me, do I want to work at OMADA Media or do I want to come on full time at OMADA Golf? And my answer was OMADA Golf. I mean, I'm a passionate golf player, and being able to mix those skills with my video editing and my photos and all my creative stuff that I've worked on for the last, you know, 15, 20 years of my life. So it was an easy decision. So, you know, after that sustained period of time, I ended up coming over to OMADA Golf. And right now I run... So if you ever see videos on social media, TikTok, YouTube, I run all those channels, and I also work with our media buyers for Amazon, Facebook, and Instagram to curate our paid advertisements.
Yes.
There's some other, you know, things here and there.
Participate in content.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us definitely like have our hands in a lot of different aspects of the business, but those, I would say, video content, photo content, social media, and advertising is kind of my main hub of expertise right now.
Yeah, I couldn't. Will does an unbelievable job with our ads. It's fucking awesome. And also every post that goes on Instagram is funny and unique, and it's awesome. Will's also like he's taken that regimented style from like basis and stuff. Like he's always on the books, freaking logging everything, knowing I know exactly what's going to happen before it happens. And it's awesome. I do appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, part of that is like PTSD from my old job, and being work from home full time and like having to be self-reliant that you're tracking everything that you're doing on a daily basis so that if your boss comes in and looks at your Asana or your Slack or whatever, you know, project management software you may use, Monday.com, whatever, that, you know, he can look at that and know what you did that day. And so bringing that over into OMADA was not necessarily for you guys, but it was for myself because I feel like if I didn't have it, I'd fucking lose track of everything that I'm doing.
And also, you're a big golfer, so like this is the perfect spot for you. When did you get into golf?
My dad started me golfing when I was 6.
Wow.
I took lessons from my mom's friend Nicole, who was a professional at an executive golf course in South Windsor, Connecticut called Willowbrook, which is no longer around, RIP.
R.I.P.
But yeah, that's how it all started. I took a lot of lessons. I went to a bunch of golf summer camps, and yeah, I mean, I've never played. I've played in a few junior amateur tournaments back when I was younger, but golf is just I would say I'm fairly good at it, but for me, it's just something fun to do. It's a great hobby.
Did you play high school golf or?
Yeah, I played on the golf team in high school. You guys don't know, obviously, who are listening, but I went to a very small public school, and I'm putting public in quotations because it was really like a private school. Just the way that it was treated and the amount of kids that were there. I mean, my graduating class was 71 kids.
Oh my God.
So you can imagine that, like, in terms of the golf team, like, we took what we could get. Like, there were not tryouts for the golf team. Like, I remember there was a kid that came out and shot 121 on 9 holes, and he was still on the golf team. He just never saw any playing time, but he would still like have the ability to come out and like practice and play the course if he wanted to. So
what was practice? Was there a course that your school partnered with that
Tallwood?
And you were able to go play every day?
Every day, yeah. Played 9 holes every day after school. At Tallwood, which is a course in Hebron, Connecticut, up the road from my high school that my dad is actually the ranger and starter at now. So that has come fucking full circle too.
That is awesome. Shout out Ranger Dave. And then you didn't did your college have a golf team that you
No. I think the only sport that Champlain College had was rugby.
Really?
Only rugby. And
they
then
didn't have a ski team?
They had the ski and ride club, but it was just a bunch of fucking, I don't even know. I like to call them pro-hos. Like, they just ride the coattails, and like they're basically like groupies. Like, the entire club was just a bunch of groupies. And so like I did it for a semester, and I was like, fuck this shit. And I ended up going off and meeting some other guys that really just enjoyed riding like Big Mountain in the woods and stuff. Yeah. And that's pretty much who I rode with for the entirety of my college career.
I was on the Quinnipiac like ski club. I was in the ski club, and like it was like 2 trips a year, so I was like, fuck this.
I don't even think they did a trip. I really don't think they did a trip. I think it was just like
a social group.
And like if you were in the ski club, like you were deemed cool at our school. And like that facet of like that elitism bullshit that I fucking hate is also like another reason why I work at OMADA Golf, because it's like breaking down those elitism barriers. And so yeah, I mean, skiing for me is just an outlet, so I didn't want to make it a social event. What
would you say you enjoy more, golf or skiing?
So it's a tough question, and I think there's just I don't have an answer for that question, because if let's say golf and skiing happened at the same time every year, I think I would have to choose one or the other. But since one happens in the summer and the spring, in the fall, and one happens solely in the winter, I don't have to choose. But it's really tough to say, because I really do like both, but golf for me is probably the number one at this point, because I'm not going to end up with an injury unless someone hits me in the head with a club or a ball. So skiing, there's always that what if I get hurt, or will that restrict me from doing other things that I love? So from a growing up and safety standpoint, golf is the better choice.
Yeah, absolutely. But I love snowboarding. Like, it's one of those things where like, like at any moment you could like fuck yourself up so bad, but like that's kind of the thrill of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just again, like being outside is like the best thing you can possibly do.
Yeah.
In terms of like your health and your
even
mental
health. Yeah.
And skiing, I think for me has been one of those outlets, and I know it's an outlet for a lot of other people too. So it's yeah, I mean, there's not much more to it than that. I think it's just a great sport and a great activity, regardless of the the kind of situations you may put yourself in safety wise.
So a cool thing about you that I always love is you will always Snapchat me these like absolutely crazy like drinks. Like you'll be like, look at this seltzer I found. Look at this beer I found. And I always think that's fascinating. Do you have one in particular that you were super surprised by? Like, oh, I'm going to hate this and then it was good, or I'm going to love this and it sucked?
Like drinks wise?
Yeah. Because you're a big variety guy. I never see you drinking the same thing.
Well, when I was younger, I was a very picky child. And as I got older and my palate expanded and advanced, I was like, I want to fucking try everything I possibly can. So I actually, and I mentioned this on a very previous podcast when I talked about going down to Florida, but the Baja Blast Mountain Dew seltzers, I went into buying them thinking that I was going to absolutely hate them and that I would probably drink one of them and just leave them at my uncle's house for him. And I ended up finishing the 12 case, like, I think that day with my dad. They're very sweet, but also very good because it's Mountain Dew. Yeah. So, I mean, what's outside of the fact that it has fake sugar in it, what's there to hate about it?
No, yeah. That's one of those things I would say too. I'd probably go into that like, I'll probably have one of these, and then I'm either going to love it or I'm going to hate it. I don't know.
I will say, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, the Baja Blast one was good, but like the other ones, I could have gone without. Yeah. But I will say this weekend, I went out and I bought a $26 4-pack of beers. And they were 9% double blueberry marshmallow smoothie sours.
Jeez, I'm
big into the smoothie sours. For any of you guys out there that are big beer drinkers, 451 North people, 450 North. I actually liked it so much that the 4-pack is now gone. So that was not a financially smart investment because my girlfriend also had a few. So, but that's kind of the thing that I'm on a kick now with is like these really heavily fruited sours. So it's like really, really weird seltzers and really fruity sours is kind of like where my palate has been heading the last 6 months.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like you find these crazy ass drinks, and I get these Snapchats. I'm like, where do you even find these? Because when I go to a liquor store, I literally go get my one thing that I know I'm going there for, and that's it. I walk out.
No, I can't. I can't drink the same thing over. I mean, in college, yeah, because it's it's cheap to do it that way. You pick up a 30 rack of PBR or something at the gas station, but as I've gotten older, just that whole notion of trying something new every time you go to the package store or, we go to the Asian supermarket a lot. I like to literally just go in there with $50 and buy as many cool snacks and drinks I can, even if I can't read the label. It's like just that notion of that, like we're 20, we're in our 20s and there's a lot of things in this world that we've tried. And so it's nice to try new things that you wouldn't normally be able to get.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, for anyone, if you can hear babies screaming in the background, that is because we are neighbors with a children's physical therapy office. So the babies are going crazy right now. We deal with it all day. Sorry if you can hear it.
Some days are better than others.
All right. So final question: what are you most excited about the future with OMADA Golf?
I'm really, it's a kind of like maybe a multi-tiered answer. I know we have a lot of stuff rolling out product development wise within the next year. It'll be really exciting to see how our community and our customers respond to all the stuff that we're bringing to market. I think, we've talked about it so much, and really right now we're waiting for it to happen at this point.
Yeah.
And maybe I know Josh has kind of talked about it, but turning OMADA into more than, just a sports products company or something of that nature. We've talked about doing events. We've talked about, really just bringing people together, the community that we talk about so much, and doing more bigger projects, bigger video projects, more traveling, more golf trips. I think we had a really killer time at Fox Run, and I definitely think that's something that we can continue even into the winter. Florida, there's plenty of places that have the ability to play golf year round. So the future of the company right now is looking great. We've got a lot to roll out in terms of products for you guys, and at the same time, content is king, and we'll always stand by that. So it's really 3 things: travel, products, and content.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. That's actually just a absolutely fantastic answer. Will, thanks for sharing all this stuff about your personal life.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I had a lot of fun doing this.
It's nice. I mean, a lot of people don't know. You guys, a lot of you and Josh grew up together, and the other people that we've had work with OMADA, we don't really dive deep into kind of our backstories. So at some point, I'm sure we'll be able to do the same thing with you and Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm an open book. I'm an absolutely open book. All right, so that's going to do it for this portion. We're going to try to get Josh on the phone and check in with him. Now, welcome on to the show, Josh, checking in from Miami. Just do a quick 5 here with Josh. What are you doing down there, boss?
I'm actually I'm in Pompano Beach right now. We're at this Ritz-Carlton estate place. And this sounds stupid, but JJ's got an apartment at this really nice place that's going to be done in 10 years or whatever. But they do this thing that's pretty interesting for anybody that is listening that wants to. I don't know if it's cool or stupid, but they build a sales thing based on all the condos that they build, and they spent $4 million on just staging the sales, like the condo sales place for the actual build. So I'm just out here on the back, and it's really fucking cool.
Oh, so like they literally spend all that money,
they just spend it to stage it so they show you what the apartments would look like.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
then
That's on cool. A scale, when you drive through Miami area and or any tropical place, you see those huge standing buildings. If they're condos, they build sales staging area, and they spend $4 million on it, and then they fucking tear it down. They literally bulldoze it when they're ready to start building and breaking ground.
That's insanity.
It is. Just to give you a perspective of how much fucking money is in this place. It's very, very frustrating, actually.
How was the travel down?
Dude, it was way longer than it should have been. It was not bad, though. I mean, so far, we've only been here we were here last night, just got in, and today we've just kind of been taking our time trying to figure out what we're going to do for the week. We got some good shit planned for you, though, Colucci, when you get here. We're excited. Actually talking about playing right literally on the same property that we're staying at is on the opposite side of the road, is Trump Doral. So I know a lot of people hate Trump, but it's still a great fucking golf course. So we were talking about maybe trying to play around there.
They have to have rental clubs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, easy. Yeah. That's a given.
You can rent some ladies' clubs like me when I went down to Florida.
Yeah.
Josh, one thing I wanted to mention, though, I saw you had a pretty good fantasy week this week.
Colucci. Dude, hey, congrats to you too, dude. I saw you tore it up.
So right now, where we stand, Josh has Brandon Ayuk playing tonight, but I have outscored Josh. I'm the highest scoring player this week with 155, but I'm done. But Josh has 144 with Brandon Ayuk left to play. So Josh might overtake me for the highest score of the week. But yeah, Josh went off, dude.
Dude, my team just finally showed up. Not only did they show up,
Hawkinson.
Colucci. Did you see my my bench, dude?
I have it
Go
up
look
right
at my
now.
fucking
I
bench.
have it up.
Dude.
Gino.
Corey Davis, number one spot. Gino Smith. Are we looking at the second best second string quarterback in the league right now? I don't know. I know there's some good guys out there, but dude, Gino Smith is on fucking fire.
Yeah, dude.
He's a rookie, right?
No. Gino's been playing for a long time, but he kind of lost his job. He lost his job, and now he's making a resurrection in his career.
Dude, he's killing it right now. I give him credit, especially because I feel like that team sucked. The Seahawks have fucking sucked.
They suck,
but anyways,
yeah.
and they lost Russell Wilson, which I don't know if I would say lost or he left or whatever it is. But
they traded him, but dude, he demanded the trade.
But that was sick. I was so pumped up about that. In addition, dude, what's his face?
Hawkinson.
Hawkinson that's what he was supposed to be the whole fucking season. He was supposed to be a top 5 tight end in the league. Everybody was super excited about him. And it sucks too because, it was a good thing, I should say, because I had to get rid of poor DeAndre Swift is injured right now. My sweet boy, my big ticket running back is injured. So it was insane that he scored basically enough points to cover DeAndre Swift not being there and 3 weeks of his play leading up to this.
Look at this stat line: 8 receptions, 179 yards, and 2 touchdowns for TJ Hawkinson. That is fucking crazy.
Dude, I still I'm in shock over it. And you know what the best part was? You guys, anybody who's listening will also hopefully, if you do any fantasy, you know what I'm talking about. The kid that I just beat is the kid in the league who fucking did 10 mock drafts.
More than that. He probably mocked 30 times, dude.
He mock drafted 30 times going into that. And I have a very simple strategy when I go into fantasy. And so far, I've been a pretty good contender the last couple. Basically, every year I've played, except one where I wasn't putting people in, I've done pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
But this year, man, I feel like I'm 2-1 now, 3-1.
Yeah, you're
And
in great
I
shape.
feel like my team is heating up. Michael Gallup coming off of the IR, dude, and putting up a touchdown in his first game back. That's a lot of hope there for that.
Yeah, but you didn't
Especially
play
with,
him though. Yeah, you didn't need to play him. You did fine without
Didn't
him.
need to play him. Yeah. Hey, Leonard Fournette, 18 points, beat the projected score. He's putting points on the board, dude. I'm pumped about that.
Kareem Hunt still not producing though.
Kareem Hunt, you know what I thought though? You know what happened last season, which is, I don't want to say likely, but it can always happen very quickly, especially with running backs, is what's his face? If Chubb goes down for any reason, which happened last season for like half the season, if Chubb goes down, maybe not half the season, but if Chubb goes down, Kareem Hunt becomes running back number 1.
Oh, easily.
And I think he could light it up. Like, he could be one of those players that, like, second half of the season, if something were to happen, and or he just catches fire, he just absolutely goes the fuck off.
Yeah, no, you got a great team, and it's gonna be. I mean, I think you're definitely gonna make the playoffs as long as everyone stays healthy on your team. I'm coming back right now. I lost my first 2 games. Now I'm on a 2-game winning streak. Absolutely smoked this kid this week. I mean,
I love to see that, Coochie. That was awesome, dude. Who's your best running back and wide receiver?
Best wide receiver is probably DK Metcalf.
DK.
And I have Mike Evans. Mike Evans went crazy.
Mike Evans didn't do that well this week, right?
No, he went off. Late in the game, he ended up going off because the Bucks were getting blown out. And then Josh Jacobs. I mean, I had 3 players.
Josh Jacobs, fucking, what did he get, 40?
34. And then Austin Eckler, my first-round draft pick, finally showed up for the season with another 30. I had 3 guys in the 30s this week, so I went crazy.
I saw that, and I was like, holy, because I saw your score. I was like, I can't believe anybody's even close to me right now, because I just, like, my team went the fuck off. I mean, anytime you have a player put up 40 points, like, I remember looking throughout the week, and I was like, this one player had matched 5 other players on the opposing team I was playing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's like anytime somebody does that, they just make that's going to be your week, you know, because it's just too, I mean, unless a rare case where somebody's really good. But what about running backs? Who do you have?
Austin Eckler and Josh Jacobs.
Right. Okay. So Josh Jacobs killed it. How'd Eckler do?
34. He had his best game of the season so far.
Get the fuck out of here. Did he really?
Yeah. My team woke up this week. It was awesome. My team was freaking awesome this week. And then are you about to go 5-0 in the pool too?
Dude, if LA wins tonight, I'm going 5-0 in the pool. But here's the thing, Coach. How does it work? If I go 5-0 and 4 other people go 5-0, what? Because that's what it's lining up for me.
Split it.
You split $120 5 ways.
$150. Yeah, but not that many people are going to 5-0. I think it's just you and this one other kid. Because the Bucks lost last night.
Oh, really? I think Dowsey's going 5-1, right? Or sorry, and he's 4 for 4 right now.
Yeah. Yeah. For those who don't know, me and Josh, nobody knows. Me and Josh are in this big pick 'em pool. You pick 5 games a week against the spread. If you go 5-0, you get a weekly payout. It's awesome. And Josh, if the Rams cover tonight, Josh goes 5-0 and gets a pretty decent payout, depending on who else is 5-0. And it's also like a season-long thing. So going 5-0 puts you ahead of a lot of people. So.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening this season, but
You're seeing the board. You're seeing the board.
I have a secret to fantasy. I have a real, genuine secret, and I don't know if I want to share it because it's kind of common sense, and I feel like people will take it. Well, not actually take it because who am I to, I'm a nobody. But I would say that, like, I took a really specific strategy this season, and it has absolutely annihilated the game for me.
We can get into the strategy next week because we've already been going for over an hour now. Me and Will got deep into it. But Josh, I will see you down in Miami in a few short days. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. Josh, thanks for taking the call. Thanks for joining the pod here.
Bye, Dad.
I'll see you, son. Behave while I'm gone.
Oh, you know it, boy.
All right. See everybody later. Thank you so much for tuning into T-Box Talk episode 25. Have a wonderful weekend.
Peace out.